Buddhāvataṃsaka Sutra. Book 38. Detachment from the World. Video 5. Great enlightening beings also think, the ages of the future are infinite, boundless, limitless, inexhaustible. I should travel the path of enlightening beings throughout those ages in one world, teaching sentient beings, and do the same in all worlds in the space of the cosmos, without fright or fear. Why? Because this is the way the path of enlightening beings should be in principle, cultivated for the sake of all sentient beings. This is their eighth adamantine commitment to universal enlightenment. Great enlightening beings also think, unexcelled, complete perfect enlightenment is based on the mind. If the mind is pure and clear, one can fulfill all roots of goodness and will surely attain freedom and enlightenment. If I wish to attain supreme consummate enlightenment, I can do so at will. If I wish to annihilate all grasping of objects, I can do that too, yet I do not annihilate, because I want to reach the ultimate end of the enlightenment of the Buddhas. And I also do not immediately realize supreme enlightenment, in order to fulfill my original vow to carry out the practice of enlightening beings through all worlds and enlighten sentient beings. This is their ninth adamantine commitment to universal enlightenment. Great enlightening beings know Buddha is ungraspable, enlightenment is ungraspable, enlightening beings are ungraspable, all things are ungraspable, sentient beings are ungraspable, the mind is ungraspable, action is ungraspable, the past is ungraspable, the future is ungraspable, the present is ungraspable, all worlds are ungraspable, and the created and uncreated are ungraspable. Thus enlightening beings dwell in quiescence, profundity, silent extinction, non-contention, speechlessness, non-duality, incomparability, essence, truth, liberation, nirvana, and ultimate reality, yet do not give up any of their great vows, do not give up the will for omniscience, do not give up the deeds of enlightening beings. Do not give up teaching sentient beings, do not give up the transcendent ways, do not give up taming sentient beings, do not give up serving Buddhas, do not give up explaining truths, do not give up adorning the world. Why? Because great enlightening beings have made great vows. Though they comprehend the characteristics of all things, their great kindness and compassion increase, and they cultivate measureless virtues. Their minds do not abandon sentient beings, because while things have no absolute existence, the ignorant do not realize this, so enlightening beings are committed to enlightening them so that they clearly comprehend the nature of things. Why? All Buddhas rest peacefully in quiescence, yet by great compassion they teach in the world ceaselessly reflecting on this. Enlightening beings do not abandon sentient beings. Also, they will not abandon great compassion, because they have already developed great commitment and have vowed to certainly benefit all sentient beings, to accumulate all roots of goodness, to persist in appropriate dedication, to develop profound wisdom, to accommodate all sentient beings, to be impartial toward all sentient beings. They speak truthfully, without falsehood, vow to give all sentient beings the supremely great teaching, and vow to perpetuate the lineage of Buddhas as long as all sentient beings are not yet liberated, are not yet enlightened, and have not yet realized Buddhahood. The enlightening being's great undertaking is not completed and they will not give up great compassion. This is their 10th adamantine commitment to universal enlightenment. These are the 10 adamantine commitments of enlightening beings to universal enlightenment. Based on these they can attain the indestructible supreme spiritual knowledge of Buddhas. Great enlightening beings have 10 great undertakings. They think, I should serve and honor all Buddhas. This is their first great undertaking. They also think, after the final extinction of all Buddhas I should adorn monuments of the Buddhas offering all kinds of flowers, garlands, incenses, perfumes, aromatic powders, cloths, parasols, pennants, and banners, and take up and preserve the true teachings of the Buddhas. This is their third great undertaking. They also think, I should teach and tame all sentient beings so that they may realize supreme perfect enlightenment. This is their fourth great undertaking. They also think, I should adorn all worlds with the supreme adornments of the Buddha lands. This is their fifth great undertaking. They also think, I should develop great compassion and tirelessly carry out the acts of enlightening beings forever in all worlds for the sake of sentient beings, one and all, so that they may all attain the unsurpassed enlightenment of Buddhas. This is their sixth great undertaking. They also think, the Buddhas are infinite, I should spend inconceivable eons with each and every Buddha, honoring them and making offerings. This is their seventh great undertaking. They also think, after the passing away of the Buddhas I should set up a precious monument for the relics of each one, those monuments to be as high and wide as untold worlds. I should also make effigies of Buddhas in the same way, and present all kinds of precious banners and pennants, canopies, fragrances, flowers, and robes for inconceivable eons without a thought of weariness, in order to fulfill the teachings of Buddhas, in order to honor the Buddhas, in order to edify sentient beings, in order to preserve the true teaching, and in order to reveal and expound the teaching. This is their eighth great undertaking. Great enlightening beings also think, by these routes of goodness I should accomplish unexcelled enlightenment, gain entry into the state of all Buddhas, and be equal in essence to all Buddhas. This is their ninth great undertaking. Great enlightening beings also think, once I have attained true awakening, I should expound the truth in all worlds for untold eons, and show inconceivable autonomous spiritual powers, without weariness of body, speech, or mind, and without deviating from the truth, because of being supported by the power of Buddha, because of diligently carrying out great vows for the sake of all sentient beings, because of great benevolence being foremost, because of great compassion being ultimate, because of having arrived at the formless truth, because of abiding by true speech, because of realizing that all things are silent and void, because of realizing that all sentient beings are ungraspable and yet not contradicting the doings of action, because of being the same one substance as the Buddhas of past, present, and future, because of pervading the cosmos and space, because of realizing that all things are signless, because of attaining birthlessness and deathlessness, because of embodying all qualities of Buddhahood, ceaselessly taming sentient beings and carrying out Buddha work by the power of great vows. This is their 10th great undertaking. Based on these 10 great undertakings, enlightening beings persist in the acts of enlightening beings and are imbued with a supremely great knowledge of Buddhas. Great enlightening beings have 10 ultimate great tasks: to honor and provide for all Buddhas, to be able to save all the sentient beings they think of, to single-mindedly seek all facets of Buddhahood, to accumulate all roots of goodness, to contemplate all Buddha teachings, to fulfill all vows, to accomplish all enlightening practices, to serve all genuine teachers, to visit the Buddhas in all worlds, and to hear and remember the true teachings of all Buddhas. Based on these, enlightening beings can accomplish the ultimate great task of the knowledge of unexcelled complete perfect enlightenment. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of indestructible faith. They have indestructible faith in all Buddhas, in all Buddha's teachings, in all wise and holy mendicants, in all enlightening beings, in all genuine teachers, in all sentient beings, in all great vows of enlightening beings, in all practices of enlightening beings, in honoring and serving all Buddhas, in the skillful mystic techniques of enlightening beings, and in teaching and taming all sentient beings. Based on these, enlightening beings can attain the supreme indestructible faith of great knowledge of Buddhas. Great enlightening beings have 10 ways of receiving the predictions of enlightenment, having extremely profound inner understanding, being able to develop the roots of goodness of enlightening beings as appropriate, cultivating extensive great practices, open receiving of the prediction, occult receiving of the prediction, realizing enlightenment by their own minds, accomplishing tolerance, teaching and taming sentient beings, comprehending the number of all ages, and mastery of all practices of enlightening beings. By these, enlightening beings can receive the prediction of enlightenment from all Buddhas. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of dedication of roots of goodness, by which they can dedicate all roots of goodness. They dedicate their roots of goodness to be the same as the enlightened guides in terms of vows, mind, action, faculties, impartiality, mindfulness, purity, state, fulfillment, and incorruptibility. They dedicate their roots of goodness to develop in this way and none other. Based on this, they attain supreme dedication of roots of goodness. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of attainment of wisdom, giving freely, deeply understanding all Buddha teachings, entering the boundless knowledge of Buddhas, being able to cut off doubts in all dialogues, penetrating the doctrines of the wise, deeply understanding the skillful use of words by the Buddhas in all their teachings, deeply understanding how planting a few roots of goodness in the company of Buddhas will enable one to fulfill all pure qualities and attain the infinite knowledge of Buddhas, accomplishing the inconceivable states of enlightening beings, being able to visit untold Buddha lands in one moment of thought, and awakening to the enlightenment of all Buddhas, entering all realms of reality, hearing and holding the teachings expounded by all Buddhas, and deeply penetrating the variously arrayed sayings of all Buddhas. Based on these, enlightening beings can attain the supreme realizational knowledge of all Buddhas. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of development of a boundlessly vast mind, development in the company of all Buddhas, observing the realms of all sentient beings, observing all lands, all worlds, all phenomena, observing all things as being like space, observing the extensive great practices of all enlightening beings, correctly remembering all Buddhas of past, present, and future, observing the results of innumerable actions, purifying all Buddha lands, entering the great congregations of all Buddhas, investigating the subtle pronouncements of all Buddhas, Based on these, enlightening beings can attain the boundlessly vast ocean of knowledge of all Buddha teachings. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of hidden treasury. They know all things are a treasury producing virtuous practices. They know all things are a treasury of right thought. They know all things are a treasury of illumination of mental control. They know all things are a treasury of intellectual powers and exposition. They know all things are a treasury of inexpressible accurate awareness of truth. They know all Buddha's autonomous spiritual powers are a treasury of observation of revelations. They know all things are a treasury of skillfully developing impartiality. They know all things are a treasury of constant vision of all Buddhas. They know all inconceivable eons are a mine of realization that all exist like illusions. They know all Buddhas and enlightening beings are treasuries producing joy and pure faith. Based on these, enlightening beings can attain the treasury of truth of supreme knowledge of Buddhas and can tame all sentient beings. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of rules of behavior. They should not slander any enlightening teachings. Their faith in the Buddhas should be indestructible. They should honor and respect all enlightening beings. They should never give up their friendship with wise people. They should not think of those who seek individual salvation. They should avoid all regression on the path of enlightening beings. They should not give rise to any malice towards sentient beings. They should cultivate all roots of goodness to perfection. They should be able to conquer all demons. They should fulfill all the ways of transcendence. Based on these, enlightening beings can attain the supreme discipline of great knowledge. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of control. Control of life, being able to remain alive for untold eons. Control of mind, their intellect being able to enter countless concentrations. Control of facilities, being able to array all worlds with infinite embellishments. Control of action, being able to experience consequences at any time. Control of birth, being able to manifest birth in all worlds. Control of understanding, being able to see Buddha filling all worlds. Control of will, being able to achieve true awakening in any lands whenever desired. Control of spiritual powers, showing all kinds of great mystical displays. Control of doctrine, revealing boundless gateways to truth. Control of knowledge, in each moment of thought manifesting the 10 powers and fearlessnesses of Buddhas attaining true enlightenment. Based on these 10 controls, enlightening beings can attain mastery of enlightenment, fulfilling the transcendence, knowledge, and spiritual power of all Buddhas. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded functions. Unimpeded functions relating to sentient beings, lands, phenomena and principles, bodies, vows, realms, knowledge, spiritual capacities, miracles, and powers. What are their unimpeded functions relating to sentient beings and so on? Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded functions relating to sentient beings. Knowing that all sentient beings are void of being. Knowing that all sentient beings are only upheld by thought. Explaining the truth to all sentient beings in a manner appropriate to the time. Magically producing the appearance of all realms of sentient beings. Placing all sentient beings inside a pore without crowding. Showing all sentient beings other worlds. Manifesting the bodies of the celestial beings Indra, Brahma, and the world guardians for all sentient beings. Manifesting the calm behavior of Buddha's disciples and individual illuminates for all sentient beings. manifesting the deeds of enlightening beings for all sentient beings, manifesting the Buddha's physical embellishments, powers of omniscience, and attainment of enlightenment for all beings. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function relating to lands, making all lands one land, fitting all lands in a pore, knowing that the totality of lands is inexhaustible, filling all lands with one body sitting, showing all lands in one body, shaking all lands without frightening the beings there, arraying one land with the adornments of all lands, pervading all lands with one Buddha and one congregation, showing sentient beings, showing all sentient beings the infinite differentiations of the network of lands filling the 10 directions, all small lands, middle-sized lands, large lands, broad lands, deep lands, upright lands, inverted lands, sideways lands, straight lands. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function relating to phenomena and principles. They know that all phenomena are in one phenomenon and one phenomenon is in all phenomena, yet they do not contravene the understanding of sentient beings. They elicit all principles from transcendent wisdom, explain them to others, and enlighten them all. They know all things are beyond words, yet they enable all sentient beings to understand them. They know all things are of one characteristic, yet they can expound infinite characteristics of things. They know all truths are beyond explanation, yet they explain boundless ways of access to truth. They can skillfully operate a pregnant symbol representing all truths, accommodating all things in one principle without contradiction, expounding it for untold eons without exhausting it. Including all things in the teaching of enlightenment, they enable all sentient beings to gain understanding. They know all things have no boundaries. They know the ultimate non-obstruction of all things, like a network of illusions, with infinite differentiations, explaining this to sentient beings for infinite eons without exhausting it. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function relating to bodies, encompassing the bodies of all sentient beings in one's own body, merging one's own body into the bodies of all sentient beings. All Buddha bodies entering one Buddha body. One Buddha body entering all Buddha bodies. Encompassing all lands in one's own body. Pervading all things of all times with one body. Showing sentient beings, showing boundless bodies in one body entering concentration, in one body showing as many bodies as sentient beings attaining enlightenment, showing the body of one being in the bodies of all beings, showing the bodies of all beings in the body of one being, showing the body of reality in the bodies of all beings, showing the bodies of all beings in the body of reality. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function relating to vows. They make the vows of all enlightening beings their own vows. They manifest themselves attaining enlightenment by the power of the vow of attainment of enlightenment of all Buddhas. They themselves attain supreme perfect enlightenment in accordance with the sentient beings they are teaching. They never end their great vows, throughout all eons, without bounds. Detaching from the body of discriminating consciousness and not clinging to the body of knowledge, they manifest all bodies by free will. They give up their own bodies to fulfill the aspirations of others. They edify all sentient beings without giving up their great vows. They cultivate the deeds of enlightening beings in all ages, yet their great vows never end. They manifest the attainment of true enlightenment in a minute point, pervade all Buddha lands by the power of vowing, and show this to each and every sentient being in untold worlds. They explain a phrase of teaching, throughout all universes, raising great clouds of true teaching, flashing the lightning of liberation, booming the thunder of truth, showering the rain of elixir of immortality, fulfilling all sentient beings by the power of great vows. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded functions relating to realms. They abide in the realm of reality without abandoning the realm of sentient beings. They abide in the realm of Buddhas without abandoning the realm of demons. They abide in the realm of nirvana without abandoning the realm of birth and death. They enter the realm of omniscience without putting an end to the realm of the nature of enlightening beings. They abide in the realm of tranquility and calm without abandoning the realm of distraction. They abide in the space-alike realm where there is no coming or going, no conceptualization, no form, no essence, and no verbalization, yet they do not abandon the realm of all sentient beings, conceptual representations. They dwell in the realm of occult powers and liberation, yet without abandoning the realm of specific locations. They enter the realm of ultimate non-existence of sentient beings, yet do not give up teaching all sentient beings. They dwell in the realm of meditation, liberation, spiritual powers, and higher knowledges, quiet and peaceful, yet they manifest birth in all worlds. They dwell in the realm of realization of true enlightenment adorned by all the deeds of Buddhas, yet they manifest the composed, tranquil comportment of the personally liberated and individually illuminated. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function relating to knowledge, inexhaustible analytic powers, retention of all mnemonic concentration formulae, ability to know and explain with certainty the faculties of all sentient beings, instantly knowing, by unhindered knowledge, the actions of the minds of all sentient beings, knowing all sentient beings' inclinations, propensities, habits, and afflictions, and giving them remedies in accordance with their ailments. In a single moment they are able to enter into the 10 powers of Buddhas. By unimpeded knowledge they are able to know all ages of past, present, and future and the sentient beings therein. Moment to moment they manifest the attainment of enlightenment, showing it to sentient beings endlessly. They know the actions of all sentient beings in the thoughts of one sentient being, understand the language of all sentient beings in the words of one sentient being. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function relating to spiritual capacities. They show the bodies of all worlds in one body. In the audience of one Buddha they hear the teachings spoken in the assemblies of all Buddhas. In the mind and thoughts of one sentient being they accomplish inexpressible, unsurpassed enlightenment and open the minds of all sentient beings. With one voice they manifest the different sounds of speech of all worlds and enable sentient beings each to attain understanding. In a single moment they show the various differences in results of actions of all ages of the entire past, causing sentient beings all to know and see. They cause all worlds to be fully adorned. They penetrate all pasts, presents, and futures. They emanate the great light of truth and show the enlightenment of all Buddhas and the acts and aspirations of sentient beings. They protect all living beings, saints, individual illuminates, enlightening beings, the 10 powers of enlightenment they have, and the roots of goodness of enlightening beings. If enlightening beings attain these 10 unimpeded functions, they can penetrate all Buddha teachings. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded functions of miraculous abilities. They place untold worlds in one atom. They manifest all Buddha lands, equal to the cosmos, in a single atom. They place the water of all oceans in one pore and travel throughout the universe, without the sentient beings therein being disturbed. They contain untold worlds within their own bodies and manifest all spiritual powers. They tie up innumerable mountain chains with a single hair and carry them through all worlds, without frightening sentient beings. They make untold ages one age and make one age untold ages, showing therein the differences of formation and disintegration, without scaring sentient beings. In all worlds they show various changes and devastations by floods, conflagrations, and gales, without troubling sentient beings. When such disasters arise, they can safeguard the necessities of life of all sentient beings in all worlds, not letting them be damaged or lost. They can hold inconceivably many worlds in one hand and toss them beyond untold worlds, without exciting fear in the sentient beings. They explain how all lands are the same as space, causing sentient beings all to gain understanding. Great enlightening beings have 10 kinds of unimpeded function of power, unimpeded function of power relating to sentient beings, teaching and taming them without abandoning them. Of power relating to lands, manifesting untold adornments and arraying them. Of power relating to phenomena, causing all bodies to enter the bodiless. Of power relating to eons, cultivating practices unceasingly. Of the power of enlightenment, awakening those who are asleep. Of the power of action, including all practices of enlightening beings. Of the power of Buddhas liberating all sentient beings. Teacherless power, spontaneously awakening to all truths. Of the power of omniscience, attaining true enlightenment by omniscience. Of the power of great compassion, not abandoning sentient beings. These are called the 10 unimpeded functions of enlightening beings. For those who attain them, being on the verge of attaining supreme perfect enlightenment or not attaining it is up to them and makes no difference. Though they attain enlightenment, they still do not stop carrying out the deeds of enlightening beings. Why? Because great enlightening beings vow to enter infinite doors of unimpeded function and manifest them skillfully, as is appropriate. Continue to video 6.